Sunlight offers no guarantee of safety when dark entities lurk just steps behind you. A walk in a park can have you running for your life. This is exactly what I'm about to show you. So prepare yourself for chilling close calls with cryptids and monsters that you won't forget. They walked through tall grass under a dark sky, cameras in hand. When they stopped by an old stone slab, one friend said they were being watched. So after turning slowly, they spotted a figure far off. It had a human shape but didn't act or give off the same energy as one. Its eyes were bright red and had a long stick. It stayed still, never spoke, only stared. Some called it a lost shaman, but human eyes do not glow in the dark like that. Others said it was a restless spirit tied to those fields. But before it got worse, these people left the area. He drove home on an empty road when his headlights hit something huge on the mountainside. At first he thought it was a person, but the shape towered above the trees like a giant. It stepped down the slope and vanished into the woods before he could get closer. But the visual was so shocking and baffled so many people online that no one could say if this was real and where did it go. This is why you shouldn't hike in the woods at night. A local made a mistake of following a narrow path through the woods at night when an uneasy feeling stopped him cold. The woods suddenly became eerily silent and then he saw it. A tall figure with long hair leaning against a tree, its eyes locked on his, heavy and still. When he met its gaze, it didn't run. It turned quietly and disappeared into the dark. Was it Bigfoot? Something worse? He didn't wait to find out. He left the trail and never returned. Two boys took a late-night drive through the city and accidentally turned into a deserted town. Empty streets and silent buildings made their skin crawl. Then something huge stepped onto the road. It looked like an animal, but its size and deep growl told another story. It didn't run or attack, it just stood there blocking their path. Hearts pounding, they slammed the car into reverse and tore away. By the time the streetlights faded, they knew they'd faced a werewolf. A group of friends followed old legends to a house deep in the forest. From the first step inside, they sensed someone or something watching. Branches cracked as they neared the clearing, and a sudden camera flash revealed a crouched figure in the shadows. Glowing eyes and twisted horns glared back at them. A low growl rumbled through the trees. Without a word, they dropped their gear and ran for their lives. Whatever that creature was, it didn't belong to this world. Crossing an old bridge late at night, two friends filmed their walk home. They felt nothing strange until later, when they watched the footage. There she was, a woman standing perfectly still, staring at them. Her smile stretched too wide, her eyes empty and cold. At the time, the friends had just passed her by. They never saw the twisted grin in the dark. If they had stopped, they might still be there, frozen under that bridge. For weeks, weird sounds came from an old abandoned house. One man finally got curious enough to check it out. When he stepped inside, he spotted a black figure sliding through the shadows. It didn't attack. It just moved back and forth and then stood still, watching him. Strange symbols covered the walls, signs that something dark was happening here. The air felt heavy, almost like it could crush you. He didn't stay to find out what came next. Some places are better left alone. In San Marcos, farm workers kept hearing noises by the goat pen every night. One evening, they grabbed their flashlights and went to look. What they saw froze them. A huge black figure was crouched over a goat, tearing into it. When the creature noticed them, it slowly turned their way. Fear took over. They ran as fast as they could, only a metal fence between them and whatever it was. Some say it was the chupacabra. Honestly, it looked more like a bear, but either way, no one stuck around to find out. A creepy video popped up online, and it freaked a lot of people out. It showed a local walking through an empty grassy field at night when he found a bonfire burning by itself. No one else was there. But then, things got worse. A dark figure floated out of the darkness, heading straight for the fire. The second it touched the flames, it disappeared. It's all caught clearly on camera, but nobody can explain it. A ghost? A spirit looking for something? Whatever it was, it left behind a lot more questions than answers. Some places should stay unexplored. A couple had come to the island for a quiet sunset walk. When they rounded a bend, they froze. A tall figure in a black cloak stood on the sand, perfectly still. Their eyes met, and fear slammed into them like a wave. Without a word, they spun around and sprinted back to their car. That beach never felt safe again. Skinwalker? Alien? Something else? They didn't stick around to find out, and they're never going back. He hit record just after dusk while hiking in the woods. Ahead, half hidden by fallen leaves, lay a small creature. Its body stayed still, but its face looked oddly human, more like a juvenile Bigfoot. Panic set in. If the parents were nearby, getting close meant danger. He backed away slowly, then broke into a run. He didn't pause until he reached the main trail. No footage on Earth was worth sticking around for that.
Astaghfirullah ya Allah.
A camper sat inside his tent and listened to the wind whistling around his tent, brushing it off as the forest settled. Then came another sound, low and rhythmic, pulling him outside. His flashlight caught a hulking shape. A black furred beast stood in the clearing, tilting its head and watching him. He'd heard tales of jinn in these woods, but now he faced one.
Tawero, aga, garip perbesari.
He didn't stay to argue. He sprinted back to camp, heart pounding, leaving the creature to its night. Deep in the Adagea woods, a group of kids stumbled across something that shouldn't exist. Thick fur, towering height, and way too fast for something that big. It darted between the trees like it was toying with them before slipping deeper into the forest. They knew it wasn't just some animal. It was Bigfoot, and not the American kind. This thing proved the legend wasn't locked to one country. It was on the move. When rangers found the hiker's abandoned camera, they expected broken gear, not a horror movie. The footage shook with every terrified breath as he ran through the woods. Then bam! A tall figure in a black coat and mask popped into view. Candles flickered around him. Shadows closed in. The screen went dark. No hiker, no footprints, no nothing. Just a memory card full of nightmares nobody could explain. The moment a paranormal investigator stepped into that dead town, he knew he messed up. Silence hung thick like smoke. Then there it was, a face, black as night, glowing eyes staring from a window. Gone in a blink.
Bismillah.
Then it popped up again, peeking from behind a wall, and again, closer this time. That was enough. He didn't wait for the grand finale. He was back in his car and peeling out before the thing decided to get any closer. On a quiet street, a security camera picked up something straight out of a nightmare. First, it was just a bunch of dogs losing their minds, barking at something off screen. Then it crawled into view, a giant human-shaped creature, twisted and broken like a living glitch. It dragged itself across the road, and the second people saw the footage online, it literally went everywhere. Some said Skinwalker, others just closed the app and refused to think about it again. Either way, no one's walking that street alone anymore. One night in Mexico, a guy went for a late stroll through the woods and instantly regretted it. In the shadows, he spotted a creature crouched over something, tearing into it like a wild animal. Except this thing wasn't normal. Its arms were way too long. Its body moved like it was broken. That's when it hit him. This wasn't just an animal, it was a werewolf deep into its meal. He backed up slowly, barely breathing, and swore never to set foot there again. And honestly, smart move. A hunter out in the forest thought he was tracking some big prize. He spotted a massive figure standing deathly still between the trees. Lifting his rifle, he froze. This wasn't a bear. It wasn't even close. As he edged nearer, the figure's face twisted into something pure and furious. He knew instantly this was Sasquatch. The hunter tried to back off, but it was way too late. He vanished that night. No tracks, no gear, nothing. Some say the forest took him. Others say he just got too close to something not meant to be seen. Some legends hit harder than you think. In a small Brazilian town, stories of a monster had everyone locking their doors before sunset. One farmer, thinking he was built differently, grabbed a flashlight and went hunting for answers. Big mistake. Out from the tall grass popped a little black-furred creature, clutching a stick like it was ready for war. Before the farmer could even blink, it charged at him full speed. He barely made it out alive. Now, even when the sun's up, nobody even glances at those fields. They learned real quick, not all legends are to be messed with. A random video from a zoo popped up online, and at first it just looked like a bunch of monkeys doing monkey stuff. But if you kept watching, things got way creepier. Dark figures were moving weird. Too weird. One dropped from a tree and crawled like something out of a horror movie. Another tree shook, but nothing came out. Then suddenly, one of them stood up on two legs and just walked off like it owned the place. Some people blamed cryptids, others slammed their laptops shut. Either way, those weren't monkeys anyone wanted to mess with. One clip floating around the internet shows a dude lying flat on the ground, covered head to toe in black. The person filming tries talking to him, but the guy's face looks all wrong. Ghost white and creepy like a bad dream. People started saying it wasn't even a person, but some lost spirit stuck on camera. The weirdest part? Nobody knows where it happened, who filmed it, or what went down after the clip cut out. It's like the guy just disappeared into thin air.
Allahu Akbar.
Trying to dodge the creepy figure that always showed up at night, this guy thought he was playing it smart by checking things out during the day. Bad idea. Deep in the woods, he found an old building almost swallowed by trees. It looked harmless at first, just another forgotten shack. But when he got closer, everything changed. A tall black figure stood by the doorway, completely still, locked onto him like it had been waiting. It didn't move, it didn't speak, it just watched. His gut told him loud and clear, whatever that thing was, getting any closer would be a huge mistake. Some things are better left alone, and that day, he learned it the hard way. Two friends hiked to the top of a mountain, soaking in the view, when a weird feeling hit them like a punch. They tried to laugh it off, until they noticed something watching. In the growing dark, two glowing eyes stared at them from the trees. As their eyes adjusted, they realized the nightmare standing there wasn't just a trick of the light. It had massive horns, twisted and sharp, and a face that looked part human, part goat. The Goat Man, a creature most people only whispered about. They didn't wait for it to move. One look was enough. They turned around and left fast. Lucky they made it down before night swallowed them whole. In a quiet Brazilian neighborhood, a guy accidentally caught something chilling on video. Behind an old crumbling wall, a dark figure lurked. Its shape was wrong, like it couldn't decide what it was. The closer you looked, the worse it got. Its face twisted into something half human, half animal, shifting like smoke. It stood there, dead still, scanning the street as if searching for something or someone. Then, without warning, it sprinted off into the shadows, moving way too fast for anything normal. The guy didn't even think. He shut off the camera, bolted back inside, and never went near that wall again. A camper was deep asleep in his tent when a weird noise snapped him awake, rustling like something dragging across the ground. Heart racing, he slowly unzipped the tent just enough to peek outside. In the dim light, he saw it. A creature sitting a few feet away, completely still, facing him. He couldn't tell if it was an animal or human. All he knew was stepping out would be the dumbest move of his life. Frozen with fear, he slid back down and stayed as quiet as he could, barely even breathing. That night felt like it lasted forever. As soon as the sun broke over the trees, he grabbed his stuff and ran without looking back. This is why exploring abandoned caves alone is never the move. One explorer thought he could handle it. Flashlight in hand, he went deep into a forgotten cave, chasing the thrill. But after a while, he knew he wasn't alone. In the corner, barely visible in the shadows, was a figure, hunched, silent, and locked onto him. Its face stayed hidden, but its presence was heavy, like the air itself was warning him to leave. The stories locals told suddenly felt very real. They said the cave wasn't empty, and now he knew exactly what they meant. He didn't hesitate. He backed out fast, leaving whatever nightmare lived in there untouched. A group of friends was driving home late at night, cutting through a shortcut by the woods. It was supposed to be faster, but they paid the price. Out of nowhere, a figure stumbled onto the road, right into their headlights. At first, they thought it was just a person, but then they saw how wrong it looked. Its legs twisted together like melted rubber, and it moved all broken and slow. Panic hit hard. They remembered the local legends about a woman who lost her mind here and never really left. Tonight, it wasn't a story anymore. They floored it out of there, never looking back.
Oh, he spotted me. Okay, I better get back down.
Deep in the woods, a man caught sight of a figure standing by a tree like it was guarding something. At first, he shrugged it off, thinking it was another hiker out there doing their thing, but the longer he watched, the weirder it got. The figure didn't move like a normal person. It had this old, heavy feeling to it, like it belonged to the forest itself.
He's just up there.
That's when it clicked. This wasn't human. He had stumbled into the territory of a forest sprite, one of those ancient protectors people only whisper about. No second chances with something like that. He slowly backed away, careful not to make a sound. A group of friends was walking home super late, cutting through the woods to save time. Bad idea. As they made their way down the path, two bright eyes lit up in the dark, locking straight onto them. At first, they froze, hoping it was just some animal. But when one guy stepped a little closer, curiosity got punched in the face by pure terror. A pale, thin face stared back, half hidden behind the trees. It wasn't human. It wasn't even trying to pretend. Every story about the rake they had laughed off before suddenly felt way too real. They didn't wait for it to move. They turned and ran like their lives depended on it. And honestly, they probably did. While exploring a rundown, abandoned house, an explorer caught something on video that still gives people nightmares. Sitting like a gargoyle on top of a cracked wall was a massive black creature, frozen in place but staring straight at him. Its horns twisted high over its head, and its glowing eyes felt like they were burning a hole right through him. It wasn't a ghost or some shadow trick. This thing was real, and it was waiting. The video cut out right there, and that's honestly way scarier. A hiker was wandering the woods when he spotted something climbing a tree. At first, he thought it was just a kid, but as he got closer, his stomach dropped. It was small, fur-covered, and moved way too fast. A baby Sasquatch. And if the baby was out, the parents had to be nearby. The woods fell dead silent. He didn't stick around to find out what else was watching. Heart racing, he turned and left, feeling eyes follow him the whole way back. Some discoveries aren't meant to happen. A group of friends were laughing as they walked through the woods until they spotted it. A massive wolf, way bigger than anything normal, standing dead still in the distance. Its glowing eyes stared right through them, then it howled, a deep, rattling sound that made the ground feel like it shifted. Against all sense, they stepped closer. That's when the beast charged without a hint of fear. They ran, stumbling and screaming, just hoping to reach home before it caught up. That night, fun turned into pure survival. On the 3rd of November, 2014, a strange video surfaced. A hiker was exploring rocky hills at night when heavy footsteps broke the silence. He pulled out his camera, and what it caught was nightmare fuel. A huge figure, hunched and moving carefully. Its long nose and massive body matched stories of old cryptids. For a moment, it scanned the area. Then its head snapped toward the camera. Before anyone could react, the creature charged. The screen cut to black. No one knows what happened next. Some mysteries are better left alone. Around 9 p.m., a young man in Indonesia was driving home when he saw something standing in the road. It wasn't human. It wasn't an animal. It was huge, with one unblinking eye. His car suddenly shut off. He panicked and tried to restart it, but nothing worked. The creature stood still, watching. Terrified, he stepped out, inching closer. That's when he saw it clearly. A cyclops just like in myths. But why was it here? Before he could react, the creature made its move. Some say he never made it home. In the woods, an adventurer captured captured the beauty of nature on his camera, but then he saw it. A towering figure standing on two legs. It didn't seem to notice him, but its presence felt wrong. The creature had the head of a wolf, but with longer limbs, sharper features, and an eerie aura. This wasn't a wild animal. It was a werewolf, and he was deep in its territory. His heart raced. He was far too close to something dangerous. A man was walking through the woods at night when he felt it. Someone or something was watching him. He turned and saw a dog crouched in the bushes, but it didn't feel right. Its eyes were too piercing, its body too twisted. Then it hit him. It wasn't just a dog, it was a dog man. Its eerie stare said it all. Legends say dogmen hunt humans, and this one looked like it was ready to strike. He ran, praying he wouldn't be followed. A man and his dog were strolling through the woods when his dog suddenly bolted forward, growling. Ahead, a wolf sat eerily still, watching them, but something wasn't right. The wolf stood up, and it wasn't just big, it was massive, easily 3 times the size of a normal wolf. Whatever this thing was, it wasn't an ordinary animal. The man's heart raced. Without hesitation, he grabbed his dog and ran, praying it would follow him, but in that moment, he knew they weren't just dealing with a wolf. They were dealing with something much worse. A camper, alone in the woods, set up a trail camera for some security. The next morning, he checked the footage, expecting nothing out of the ordinary. But as he watched, his heart dropped. At first, it looked like a regular animal, but then he noticed its features. Distorted, twisted, a low, guttural howl echoed through the footage. Sending chills down his spine. This wasn't just any creature. Its posture, its movements resembled something out of legend, a werewolf. And worse, it wasn't just wandering, it was searching. For what or who? He wasn't about to find out. An explorer was trekking through the mountains at night when he saw something eerie in the distance. A humanoid figure, draped completely in black, moved slowly, almost as if performing a ritual. Its head was hidden, its identity impossible to determine, but there was an undeniable wrongness about it. Ghost? Demon? He couldn't tell, but he made sure to record every second, knowing no one would believe him otherwise. As he hurried back down, a single thought haunted him. Whatever that thing was, it was fully aware of his presence and seemed to be waiting. Did these hikers capture an actual witch? What started as a peaceful family hike quickly turned terrifying when one of the kids pointed ahead. Sitting under a tree was a figure cloaked in black, completely still. The way it sat, head covered and unmoving, felt unnatural. The family froze in place, watching in stunned silence. They pulled out a camera, hoping for any sign of movement, but the figure remained perfectly still. No sound, no reaction, just an eerie presence that seemed to be lost in some dark ritual, staring into nothingness. He saw something no one was meant to witness. A farmer was working in his fields when something chilling caught his eye. From behind some bushes, a horned humanoid figure peeked out, scanning the area as if searching for something or maybe even someone, possibly him. He held his breath, heart pounding. If he had been any closer, he feared there would have been no escape. The creature continued its search, completely unaware of him. Then, as silently as it had appeared, it vanished into the trees. He never spoke of it again, leaving the memory to haunt him. While hiking in the woods, a hiker heard heavy footsteps growing louder. At first, he thought it was an animal, but as the ground shook with each step, he realized it was something far worse. Then, through the trees, he saw it. A towering giant, far larger than anything he thought was possible. It was covered in black and moved unnaturally fast. Heart pounding, he ducked behind a tree, barely breathing as it passed by. It never turned or stopped, but the hiker knew that if it had noticed him, things wouldn't have ended so well. He didn't want to think about what could have happened. A local walked through his quiet neighborhood at night, lost in thought when an eerie feeling suddenly washed over him. He felt it. Someone or something was watching. When he turned, his breath caught in his throat. A dark figure with glowing eyes stared at him from a house window. For a moment, he couldn't move. Only a sheet of glass separated him from whatever lurked inside. Was it a cryptid, a ghost, or something worse? Whatever it was, he didn't stick around to find out. A local was sleeping soundly when a noise outside his window abruptly woke him. It came from the tree branches right next to his balcony, something moving. Half asleep, he stepped outside, expecting to see a bird or maybe a monkey. But the rustling continued, shifting from one branch to another, like something watching him from the leaves. He squinted into the darkness, but whatever it was stayed hidden. His gut told him this wasn't just some animal. And when the movement stopped suddenly, leaving only eerie silence, he knew one thing: he wasn't alone. And now it's time for today's open discussion. Are you ready for this? In the summer of 2021, a family took a regular hiking photo in the woods of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. At first glance, everything seemed normal, just kids walking along the trail. But when they zoomed in, they saw something unsettling. In the top right corner of the photo, a pair of long legs stood among the branches. The legs were too tall, at least 15 feet. They were dressed in pants and shoes, but there was no body to match them. Some people thought it might be Slender Man, a creepy, faceless figure known for stalking hikers in the woods. No matter what it was, those legs definitely didn't belong. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again,